dabei im Radio Colonia? Ist auch dabei? Die ist auch dabei. Davos Nordic für die Schweizer Langläufer und Langläufer natürlich ein ganz spezieller Event, der Heimauftritt. Ist das auch, wo man merkt im Team, dass da eine spezielle Nervosität ist oder eher Vorfreude? Was ist mehr Druck oder mehr Motivation?
Ich würde sagen eher Vorfreude. Klar, die Anspannung ist bei jedem Einzelnen ein bisschen höher, weil wir es besonders gut machen. Die Motivation ist riesig bei allen und ja, natürlich, wir will immer abliefern von einem Publikum.
Wir haben bei den Damen ein Team, bei den Herren zwei Teams jetzt mit dabei. Vielleicht noch ein Wort für Motivation durch die Zuschauer. Du hast das auch erlebt, die Zuschauer am Streckenrand. Ich glaube, das unterschätzt man nicht, das bringt wirklich sehr viel für die Motivation der Läufer.
Extrem, also ich würde sagen, ich habe einen Großteil von meinen besten Rennen auf Schweizer Boden gezeigt und es zeigt auch an welcher Stellenwert, was das Publikum für eine Bedeutung hat. Und ja, ich kann es merken.
Wunderbar, dann wünsche ich dir in welcher Funktion auch immer, als Papa oder als Hilfs-TV oder was auch immer, ein spannendes Rennen. Jonas Baumann, danke vielmals. Jonas Baumann, wie gesagt, 13 Mal ist er selber da bei Davos Nordic am Start und heute in verschiedensten Funktionen. Und da haben wir wieder Bild. Und in Kürze gehen wir zum ehemaligen Kollegen von Jonas, zum Dario Colonia. Da werden wir natürlich von Dario und von Patrick Schmid, dem SRF-Team, ebenfalls den Tipp abholen, wer das sie heute aufs Podium tippen. Und wer weiß, vielleicht hat es als Schweizer im Podium, wenn wir das überraschen.
We are it's team sprint and sprint day. You've been out in the course here. How is the course here in Davos?
Today it's fast, so I think it's going to be quite fast races. Course, we know it in Davos. You have to make pace all the time, work all the time. It's no time to rest. So it looks like an easy track, but it's quite hard.
Where is the crucial point here?
I think there is two. There is in the uphill. Last round, you have to be quite in front, not stuck in traffic jam behind. And then the last curve is really important. You have to take so much speed with you to go on the short finish line. So I think these 2 points are really important.
This course is usually good for the Swiss athletes. What do you think about them?
Yeah, today is gonna be interesting. We have new teams, so we have some sick in the teams. So yeah, everything is possible. We have Yannick for the guys. He knows it. He have Podium here, Nadia the same. So Anya, sorry. So yeah, we have good teams, but new rookies. So it's gonna be interesting.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Heidi, it's your first World Cup start. How was the qualification?
It was really great. I just wanted to enjoy the race. I tried to give my best, but I really wanted to enjoy it, and I did that, I think, and the outcome is good, I think.
So no nerves before our first World Cup?
Of course I was nervous, but I think that's part of the game. Yeah.
What is the Austrians' plan for today?
At first we just want to qualify and then give our best and have fun.
Good luck today.
Thank you.
Jiri, how was the qualification for you?
Extremely hard. The second lap was harder than I thought, so I think I slowed down too much, but it was so now. It was okay.
You are racing together with Novak today. What does a team sprint mean for the Czech boys?
I think it's an important race, especially because it's the same format in Olympics. So I think it's going to be good to see how we do, because it's the only race before the Olympics in this discipline. Oh, sorry, Sue. Oh.
Good luck to you then.
Thank you very much.
Die Tipps für das Finale. Wir haben ja zwei Schweizer Teams bei den Herren, eins bei den Damen. Auf was tippst du jetzt Top 3 bei den Teams? Bei den Damen, würde ich sagen. Ja, das ist jetzt aber überhaupt nicht, das ist einfach die Reihenfolge vom Prolog. Ist so. Ich weiß. Kein Holzstil, schon immer. Und in der Schweiz oder wieso das? Ja, das ist so. Bis jetzt habe ich immer coole Schweizer. Wenn man nach dem Ausbildung ist, kann man
jetzt von links eine, das heißt, wenn es relativ rot einsteigt, ist links wahrscheinlich gar nicht so groß. Weil das nicht so weit, wenn alle schon rechts stehen, je nachdem, was halt Position, oder? Aber ist das sicher links besser, wenn das ist natürlich, also, ich muss sagen, ja, umso besser die Position, umso eher rechts, das ist halt.
Laufrichtung links oder vorne?
Laufrichtung links, weil das steht links und kann sich dann einordnen, oder? Und das heißt, merkst du es, dass mir durchsagen oder Coop oder sowas, wo der steht rechts oder links? Das zeigt mir nicht. Das zeigt man eh nicht.
Hoffentlich schafft es nicht, dass es jetzt unser Team kommt. Da sind wir gespannt. Sie führen natürlich am Prolog 3-0. Jetzt muss er zu Serena Dega. Serena Dega auslaufen, Dario. Und wir schauen uns das Spektakel vom letzten Jahr an. Letztes Jahr da haben wir noch 50 Jahre Jubiläum.
It's a good day, ski fans. Welcome to the FIS Cross Country World Cup presented by Coop. Coming to you from beautiful Davos, Switzerland. It's race number 7 of the tour and the men's and women's team sprint at stop number 3 of 12 on the World Cup circuit. I'm Andrew Kastning on the call for some fast flying action set to fire the blowtorch and ring the massive cowbells in just a few minutes. And as the sun sets over Davos, so we begin our men and women's team sprint final. It's going to get started with the women's first, and to make it this far, athletes had to qualify their team. 15 teams make it to the finals, and that was done so through
Coletta,
one
how was
lap
the
each.
qualification for you? Oh, it was okay. Tough always in Davos. In the altitude, you longing for some air. But I think we did a good job, and we see what's thereafter.
I know you and Laura are close friends. How is it then racing together on a team sprint?
Oh, it's awesome. Like, we're having fun. We're sharing the whole day together. And yeah, we have good memories from the last time. So we have a good quote on the podium, so we will reach for it.
Good luck today.
Thank you.
Roman, yesterday you got the chance to do the team sprint, and this was a great qualification. What do you say?
Yeah, it was just a replacement, but so happy to race here. I love Davos, I love the snow. It's great, and now to start with such a qualification, it's great, yeah.
What will be the plans in the heat?
Start passively, I mean on second leg, but we'll see what comes out, how fast Isa is, but I'm happy, I'm ready for it.
Good luck today.
Thank you so much.
There's a few words from the German skier Coletta Ritschek and the Swiss skier Roman Alder. Ritschek teamed up with Gimler, and they were the last two to win this team sprint at the end of last year's season in in Lahti. Now we turn to Davos, and it is Sweden 1-2 out of the qualifying. To make it here, you had to ski one lap with your teammate in an interval start, and the top times were combined for a time, and if you made it in the top 15, you make the finals. So we're down to 15 teams now, and with Sweden 1-2 out of qualifying, they are certainly the favorite. The Swedish team this time are made up of Maja Dahlqvist and Jonas Sundling. They are your World Championship gold medalists as well. They have flipped the order, however, as Sundling will go second behind Dahlqvist. Sweden team number 2 is Emma Rebohm and Lynn Svan. Qualifying third is Germany, as we saw. That will be Coletta Ritschek and Laura Gimler. Norway 2 and 1 came in 4th and 5th in qualifying. Astrid Slind and Matilda Mirvold are teamed up, along with Christine Fosnes and Christina Schistad. There are no U.S. women's team on the line today. Jessie Diggins, of course, has her sights set on the Olympics and that Crystal Globe. There are not World Cup points on the line today. There will be Nation Cup points, however. And all the other women are still, for the U.S., are still looking to qualify for those Olympic Games. So they are going to set their focus on the remaining races of this weekend. All races this weekend are in freestyle as we take a look at this sprint course. Each leg of the relay will be 2 laps, and if you've watched a sprint in Davos before, you should be familiar with this course. It is a 2-lap course with one big climb in the middle, and it is my understanding that the downhill corner is a bit icy coming into the stadium. With 15 teams on the line, it should be an exciting and captivating race as we get ready for, first off, the women's finals. There is a look at your qualifying rankings heading into these finals. Taking a look at last year's Davos team sprint results, it was Sweden number 1 that took the win. Reboom and Sundling teamed up in that race. Norway was second with Schlind and Fosnes. Switzerland won, took the podium. Anja Weber and Nadine Feindrich. No Nadine Feindrich on the line this year. Germany took 4th place. That was Laura Gimler and Ritschek. And in 5th place, it was the Canadian team of Lydian Gano and Sonia Schmidt. Now, as we look to, there'll be right back-to-back races today. There's the men's team sprint qualifying times. Looking over last year's men's team sprint results from Davos, it was Gallberg and Klabo teamed up to take the win there. This time it will be the World Championship gold medalist duo of Eric Valnes and Johannes Klabo. Last year, Switzerland had a great team sprint. Valerio Grand and Yannick Riebli were second, ahead of Sweden's best team of Johan Hagström and Edvin Anger. Hagström and Anger are teamed up again this year, as well as last year's 4th place Italian team of Elia Barb and Federico Pellegrino. France came in 5th last year, Jules Chapaz and Richard Jouve. Now we see our athletes approaching the start. Team sprint will be 3 legs for each skier. And as I mentioned, it is a 2-lap sprint course. So there'll be a lot of loops around this up this hill, around that icy corner, and through the stadium. Each skier skiing 3 legs. Here's a nice look at today's starting lineups. As I mentioned, every race this weekend is in the freestyle discipline. Tomorrow will be a freestyle sprint, and we will cap off the 3-day race weekend on Sunday with a 10-kilometer freestyle interval start. There is Ostrud Slind, the veteran, 37 years of age, leading off for Norway 1. She will be tagging off to Matilda Myhrvold. That is Emma Ribom from Kalix, Sweden, in her 113th World Cup start at 28 years of age. She is a veteran. Sweden is going to be very tough to beat today. They qualified 1-2. I think the Germans and the Norwegians have a big task ahead of them to try and take down the Swedish women sprinters. There is Norway 2, that is Christine Auskulum Fosnes, be tagging off to Christina Stavos Skistad. And now we wait for the gun. Looks like a clean start. 15 teams on the line, ready to knock heads, ready to race their skis all the way around this course in fast and furious fashion. We're going to have blowtorches on the corner, and hopefully those giant cowbells, indicative of the region of Davos, are ringing loud for these women. This is the main climb, the one big climb in this course. We'll expect the moves and the separation to occur right over the top of this hill and into that final downhill. The way these teams qualified, with one skier doing one lap and combining the times, it's relatively new. Only around for 2 or 3 years. Hasn't been even around for an Olympic cycle. So for the first time in this Olympics, they will be using that qualification format. In the past, they had to run an entire team sprint ahead of their actual final team sprint. And really, it turned it into a distance event with that much skiing. By the time you hit your 3rd lap on the finals, if your team made the finals, you were looking pretty tired. So they have shortened that quite a bit, much to the joy of the athletes, keeping it more into the sprint category. But even so, after doing 3 legs of a relay, it gets pretty tiresome. So there is an element of endurance to this team sprint, and it's going to take determination, drive, good skis, and a little bit of everything to make the podium today. Nice look at the Swiss team in red there. That is Anja Weber from Boetzekan, Switzerland. As I mentioned, she landed on the podium a year ago here in Davos in this event with Nadine Fendrich. Today, she's going to have to do it with 22-year-old Fabienne Alder. Fabienne has just 3 now World Cup starts to her name. So here comes the first exchange now. Still, the group remains largely together. And from the young Fabienne Alder. Obviously feeling good there, maintaining her space at the front. A lot of the sprint racing comes down to positioning within the field as we see a surge from one of the Swedish teams. Awesome vibe here in Davos. This venue is situated pretty much right in downtown Davos, Switzerland. Gorgeous valley right up against the Italian border in the heart of the European Alps. And with this compact of a loop, it gets the feel of a roller derby type event. You can hear those giant cowbells clanging in the distance, indicative of the region. Bib 4, that is Lynn Svan. Lynn Svan was third last weekend in the Trondheim Sprint Classic. So we got Sweden, Norway at the front now. That is the Finnish team there in fifth in the blue suit. And we are heading back to the second exchange and the second leg of the first skier. That is Christina Stavos-Skistad now at the front. Did a nice job there getting up to the lead, and we'll tag off to Kristen Fosnes. Finland emerges to the front. That is the team of Yasmin Kahara and Yasmin Joesu. So now it is Kahara on course there in bib 2. Now we start to see the pace quicken a little bit. Going to see if the strategy develops to try and get some separation. Right now the pack remains pretty much together, but we're going to want to eliminate some of the possibilities for tangles and crashes with other athletes. So I expect to see these women really start to push the pace in their second leg. Now you see the graphics at the bottom of your screen. Maja Dahlqvist in the lead. Of course, everybody tight together within just a couple seconds of each other. So it's Dahlqvist setting the pace at the front. There is a good look at Christine Fosnes, both in the V2 technique. It has been a gorgeous week for these athletes getting prepped for the Davos World Cup. They left the overcast skies of Trondheim a few days ago and arrived to the sunny and high pressure, high altitude environment of Davos, Switzerland. Not quite at 2,000 meters, but close. One of the higher venues these athletes will contest skiing at this winter. There is Coletta Ridchek in the black suit for Germany, getting ready to tag back off to Laura Gimler for the third exchange. Tag off has to be a hand-to-body tag. You cannot reach out with your pole and touch your teammate. You must get close enough to them to touch them with your hand. There is a nice look at Jonas Sundling and Lynn Svan at the front. Pulling along Matilda Meervold in bib 3. Germany's got them tracked right behind. And that is the Italian team just behind them in bib 6. That is Katerina Gans and Federica Casol. So these are what we call the anchor leg skiers. They are anchoring down the relay team with the task of bringing it home to the finish line. You can see the finish there just off to the left of your screen, the tag zone to the right as they head through to their second lap of their second leg. There is Jonas Sundling at the front. So good in the sprint skate category. A world champion, in fact. She is going to be extremely tough to beat up that final climb on the final lap and into the finish. Right now, though, it is Christina Stavos-Skistad with it marked. And that is Matilda Meervold in red. Skistad for Norway too has a little bit more success in the classic sprinting category. She is often head and shoulders taller than the rest of the field, which lends itself nicely to leverage in the double pole. But today's a skate race, and she takes it really wide at the top of your screen. That was not a great turn from Skistad. Back to the front now. Here comes the exchange. This will be the final leg for those first skiers. And with that, I expect to see the pace really quicken now, as it looks like Astrid Lind takes the front with a high tempo. Astrid Lind, definitely more of a distance skier, in fact a long distance skier with most of her career in the Ski Classic marathon circuit. This may be her only sprint start of the winter. She wants to take full advantage. Taking a look at their descending speeds, it looks like all skis pretty equal, I would say, as they glide out back into the stadium. Good footwork from the German team to stay on her feet there. Laura Gimler nicely descended around that corner, got a little tight on the inside, but she made space and found her way. Now we can see the tempo really increase as Maya Dahlqvist pushes the pace at the front. Anja Weber from Switzerland in the red there, makes a move to the front. Good positioning from the Swiss team. Now watch the tempo at the final climb for this leg. It's a hop skate. Absolutely hammering to the top, looking for any separation they can find as they tag off one last time to the anchor leg. The other red suit in the mix there is the Austrian team of Heidi Bucher and Magdalena Schertz. Very young team. Heidi Bucher just 19 years of age, teamed up with Magdalena Schertz at 23 years old. So now you see the separation they were looking for. Mio, Maya Dahlqvist, look at that Huge separation, did exactly what she needed to do. Tags off to Sunling with the lead. Be interesting to see if Sunling try to make that stick. Right now it looks that is her plan. Hammering the V2. At least 20 meters lead now on the two Norwegian teams. You can see the laser-like stare of Skistad over the shoulder of Mathilde Meervold. And there is Emma Reboom, bib 4. But Norway has made contact, and so we have a race on our hands for the podium. Excuse me, though, there is the Swedish skier still way out in front. It's going to be a race for second and third at this pace. Nice look now at Jonas Sunling, hammering the V2. Maja Dahlqvist had an excellent final leg for her race, getting that separation, providing Sunling with comfortable lead. At the 6.6K mark, it is Sweden in the lead by 5.6 seconds over Norway 2 and Norway 1. Right now, the two Norwegian teams and the German and Swedish 2 all within a second of each other. Finland in the mix as well. That is bib 2 in the hop skate. Jasmi Joensuu, last year's Crystal Globe winner in the sprint category. Final lap now. Into the stadium comes Sunling. Watch the race for second and third now. That's where the battle is left. Sunling's going to come away with it free and clear. Into the finish line now. Another dominating performance from Sweden, showing that they are in fact the world champions from last year. Sunling and Dahlqvist take the win, and it's a battle for second and third. Norway with the advantage, and it's going to be Norway 2 and Norway 1, followed by Germany. So Kristen Fosnes with the surge at the end, and Skistad takes second ahead of Austridslind and Mathilde Meervold. As Kristen Fosnes checks on her teammate, collapsed at the finish. A huge effort at the end there to take that second position. Team sprinting, always an exciting event. Coming down to the wire for all podium positions. Of course, today it was Sweden's day. Maja Dahlqvist and Jonas Sunling taking the victory. For Dahlqvist, that will be her 14th World Cup win. And for Sunling, that will be her 21st World Cup win. That's including all individual races as well. Nice look there at your second place team of Kristen Fosnes and Kristen Skistad. Fosnes, that will be her third World Cup podium. All of those in the team events, relays and team sprints. For Skistad, that is her 22nd World Cup podium. A look back at the women's final. As expected, we saw the big moves occur in each skier's final leg. You can see just how hectic it can be with 15 teams on the line at one time. If your ski gets stepped on, you can go down quickly. And that's what happened to Vilma Nissinen from Finland there.
heimgehen. Nein, bleiben da. Wir bleiben im Stadion, wir machen Lärm, wir machen Stimmung, wir genießen Traglaufsport in seiner ganzen Schönheit.
Track surface almost entirely artificial snow. Can't see. The hillsides are white. We do love that. There'll be some natural mixed in, but as the grooming and the course prep carries on, they're going to be entirely artificial snow at the surface. Sometimes gets that little bit of a sugary top coating, and if it scrapes down to ice, that can be a tricky situation on some of those downhill corners. But Sweden managed it so well. Look at that tempo from Dahlqvist coming out of that bottom corner, handing a very comfortable and nice lead to her teammate Jonas Sundling. Both of them executed their races perfectly to take the win here in Davos on the opening race of the 3-race weekend. Germany once again showing they are competitive in this event. I expect them to be a threat at the Olympic Games coming up later this winter in Milano Cortina, Italy. They were just a 10th of a second off of the podium, so close behind Astrid Slind and Mathilde Meervold. So there is a look at your podium for the women's final. Sweden once again remaining so dominant on the women's field, taking the win here.
Maja Dahlqvist and Jonas Sundling, you win the team sprint here in Davos. Maja, we can start with you. How was this?
It was really fun. It was really tough. The altitude is really painful. So I was really happy that I could get Jonna a little gap to the last leg.
And a little gap you got. How was it for you, Jonna?
It was a perfect gap. I felt it was okay. Now I just need to ski fast and try to have the energy in the end so I can finish good. And I'm happy.
And such a great place to have it in the evening sprint here in Davos. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, it's really cool. I love Davos, so it's perfect.
Congratulations, girls.
Thank you.
A few words from today's winning team. There's a look at your final standings. Came down to a photo finish for 5th and 6th between Sweden 2 and Finland 1. And the party atmosphere builds here in Davos as it is fully nighttime now. As you heard from Maja Dahlqvist, they love it here in Davos. It's one of the favorite stops on the World Cup tour. Don't go too far. The men's race is coming up next. Here's the final finishing stretch. Sundling in full command of the race. Coletta Ritchek on the right with a good closing speed, but it wasn't quite enough to reach the podium as Skistad and Meervold were able to hang on. That fight for second and third and fourth came down to 0.3 of a second right to the line. Very exciting there. So as we now turn our attention to the men's race, it was, of course, the expected Erik Valnes and Johannes Glabo, last year's World Championship gold medal team, that took the qualifying win. It was a tough day for the U.S. men. I got word that Gus Schumacher had a bit of a sore throat, had to step out. He was originally teamed up with Ben Ogden, and it was going to be J.C. Schoonmaker with Luke Jaeger. However, with Gus coming down a little bit ill, we wish him well and hope he can race later this weekend, particularly in the 10K freestyle. He could do well. That slotted J.C. Schoonmaker up to the top U.S. team. And he skied valiantly in his qualifying round, almost bringing the team back. Unfortunately, Ben Ogden crashed in his opening lap of his qualifying round, broke a pole, was not able to make it on. So the U.S. team, the men's team, was down to one, and they did not qualify in the top 15. They were so close despite those mishaps. So they will turn their attention now to the freestyle sprint set to go tomorrow. The second Norwegian team came in second in qualifying. That is Harald Osberg Amundsen, teamed up with Oskar Opsted Vika. Qualifying third is the Italian team, number 1, and that would be Elia Barp and the veteran, 35 years of age, Federico Cicopel Pellegrino, who likely woke up in his own bed in Italy and drove across the Alps to get here. Qualifying fourth, that was the top Swedish team of Johan Hagström and Edvin Unger. Here's a great look at the qualifying for the men's. Take a look at Switzerland number 2. They'll be one to watch. That's Issei Neff. Issei Neff and Roman Alder teamed up. Issei Neff is just 20 years of age with only 3 World Cup starts to his name. He did have a personal best in the World Cup in one of those 3 starts. He came in 15th in the Sprint Classic in Ruka to open the season. Now we'll take a look at last year's Davos team sprint results. Johannes Klabo teamed up with Paul Goldberg, who's now retired, to take the win in that World Cup race. They edged out Switzerland, had a great day that night. Yannick Riebli and Valerio Grand were ahead of Johan Hagström and Edvin Unger. So Hagström and Unger teamed up again. They will be the biggest challenge, probably alongside Italy and and Switzerland, to compete with the 2 Norwegian teams. Last year in fourth, it was Elia Barp and Pellegrino, and Jules Chapaz and Richard Zhu came in 5th. These team sprints go quick when it comes down to it. Be the same format the women did, equal distance, each skier going 2 laps for their leg, and there'll be 3 legs for each skier. There is Erik Valnes, the man from Tromsø, Norway, going to lead it off. Tromsø at the top of the country, way up above the Arctic Circle. They are certainly the big-time favorites for this men's event. Good look there at bib 8. Johan Hagström from Lilla Lapstrask, Sweden, 33 years of age. See the athletes setting their skis down in the tracks for a double pole start in the chevron formation, with Norway 1 at the tip of the spear. Just a few minutes to the start of the men's race now. Andrew Castning on the call. So happy you could join me for this night sprint. It's a party vibe here in Davos, and we're here for it. There is the poker face man, the boy from Trondheim, Johannes Høsflot Klæbo. There's a high likelihood that the Valnes Klæbo team will be the Olympic team sprint. Of course, much remains to be seen. There is one other team sprint on the World Cup calendar coming in Gome, Switzerland, ahead of the Olympics. That will be the final chance for the nations to test different lineups, picking their Olympic team. There is Erik Valnes. And there is Elia Barp. I think they have some good chances today, although he looks nervous. Going to channel those butterflies into some fast skiing. There is Issei Neff. Mentioned just how young he is, 20 years of age. He's the youngest in the final by a good 2 to 5 years. Elia Barp at 22 years of age.
30 seconds to the start.
To his right. Now we wait for the start gun to fire. And they are off. Double pole start, fast and furious. Erik Valnes setting up vociferous early pace here. Always nice to have the lead position coming into that uphill corner. Allows you to choose your line beginning that uphill climb. And now into the downhill. After the women's race as the flamethrowers go. Oh, and there's a crash. That's what I was looking for. Is it going to be a little bit icy underneath? That's a big bummer for Italy. That is Elia Barp. Luckily, he's tagging off to Federico Pellegrino. And if there's anybody who can work his way back up through that crowd, it will be Federico Pellegrino. See the pace now settle in a little bit. There is Harald Amundsen. Bib 4 now at the front next to his fellow countryman Erik Valnes. Valnes in the red bib. The Austrian team there near the front, that is Michael Fodinger and Benjamin Moser. They are bib 19. See if we can have a clean turn on this one. And it does look clean. A little hectic on the inside of that corner. Everybody wants to edge towards the inside as they make their way around. And that can cause some conflict. To the first tag we go, hand to body. Like a clean exchange on the first go around. There at the front you see the Swedish skier, that is Anton Gran. He was just tagged off from Emil Danielsson. Anton Gran at 21 years of age from Mora, Sweden, in his 11th World Cup start. He's a world junior champion in the classic sprint. Another look now at the downhill turn. Here we come. Oh, and another one goes down. That's Team Sweden. Bib 8. Oh, it's Edvin Anger. Edvin Anger with a crash. He's going to have to work extra hard now to get back in contact with the group. Hopefully he can radio up to his countryman, Emil Danielson, tell him to hold the pace back a little bit. Right now it's Johannes Glabo in the driver's seat at the front. Quintessentially in control. They may decide to go early in this race. I wouldn't be surprised if they want some separation, stay out of the tangles on that descent. Anton Grano has him marked. Looks like both Italian teams were able to work their way up towards the front. Excellent skiing by Federico Pellegrino, minimizing the effects of his teammate's crash. So now we head to the second leg of the first leg, skiers. As you can see, all teams pretty much in contention at this point, with Norway 1 at the front, ahead of that second Swedish team. Now it's Emil Danielson on the call for Sweden. You can see a little bit of separation as the Czech skier getting spit off the back. That Czech Republic team made up of Jiří Tůz and Michael Novak. Oh, and a little bit of tangle on the uphill. When you got 4 sticks attached to your body, it's always a risk on the climbs of getting a ski stepped on or a pole skied through. I think that's what happened there. Such is team sprinting. Now we head through the lap lane. Erik Valnes in the front ahead of Emil Danielson, Harold Amundsen, and Richard Jouve. Elia Barp back in the mix. Great job to the Italians for getting in there after that fall. There is Erik Valnes at the front in the driver's seat. He's got Harold Amundsen to his right. Both Swedish teams at the front now. So despite Edvin Anger's crash, you can see there is opportunity for the athletes to get back into the mix. Both Sweden at the front, and Elia Barp and Federico Pellegrino doing the same. This is going to be a crowded descent around the corner this time. So you see Harold Amundsen setting up wide. Here we go now to the third exchange. All teams within 4.4 seconds of each other through that exchange. There is Johannes Glabo at the center of your screen. Good look at that Swiss team. That is Yannick Riebli. Yannick looking to make it another podium finish here in his home city of Davos. He skis for the Schwandi Ski Club. Good look there at Johannes Glabo's descending abilities. He took the long way around the corner, but so well balanced on his skis, able to slide up to the front there as they head through the lap lane. Anton Gran to his right. He's pulling along the Austrian team anchored by Benjamin Moser. Haven't mentioned the team from Spain, but there is a young team from Spain made up of Jaime Puello and Marc Colel Pantabre. Pantabre is 20 years of age. Puello is 24. And there's a tango with the Austrians and the Swedes. Oh, that's going to be a tough point to make it back at this stage in the race. A broken pole. Big bummer for Anton Gran. That Swedish second team was right in the mix until that moment. And that may just dash the hopes for that team to make the podium now. Oh, and another crash on the inside. Almost took somebody out with him. Team sprinting is a wild event on display here in Davos at the exchange now. It is Norway 1 at the front, just ahead of Norway 2 and Sweden 1. Italy in the mix, 0.8 back. There is the German team. Haven't mentioned them yet. Jonas Gremicki with Jan Stolben. Really seeing the pace quicken now. This is the final time that the first leg skiers will go around the track. Pouring everything they have into their effort now. Everybody waiting with bated breath as they make their way around this corner. You can see some of that ice starting to expose on this turn. Best to use the sugary berm that develops. Ride your ski around that and avoid the icy patch. Everybody through clean this time though. Harold Amundsen at the front, just ahead of Erik Valnes and Johan Hagström. It's Gremicki from Germany in third. Still a big pack at the front despite the pace quickening. Now we see a little bit of the war of attrition happening. Here's a big move from Norway at the front. There's Erik Valnes' speed on display, pulling along the group with him. Huge effort over the top from Valnes in the red bib. Oskar Upstead Vika close on his tails. Valnes looking very velocious over the top, looking to hand off Klæbo with a few meter lead. The final exchange now. Norway 1 and 2 at the front. Sweden and Switzerland right there. Germany just 2.4 back. Edvin Anger now tracking his rival, Johannes Klæbo. Gonna have to be prepared for a very quick final lap from Klæbo. It'll be a full hop skate and a huge effort to have to keep up with him. Still gonna be a lot of traffic on this corner here. Looks like the lead group is through clean. Not seeing any big differences on the ski glide. Everybody on about equal playing field in the tech department. And look at that. The chase group fading off the back. It's a group of about 7 at the front now. A lot of red suits in the mix. Austria, Switzerland, Norway. Edvin Angers marking Klæbo. Here comes the move up the big hill. There it is, the hop skate. Can anybody match his tempo? Over the top, Edvin Auger does not have an answer. There's the separation we've seen so many times before. Klæbo doing exactly what he has to do. Looks over his shoulder. He's got room to play. All he has to do now is stay on his feet, rock his center of gravity back, and squeeze energy out of the tails. Round the corner they come. They're through clean. It's going to be a race for second and third between Sweden and Italy. Federico Pellegrino and Edvin Auger as Klæbo makes it home free and clear. Raises his arms to the crowd. He's done it. Edvin Auger at a lunge. And it's Italy with a photo finish, and Switzerland right behind in fourth. Oh, it's going to be tight. We'll have to sort out the details. Big hug from the Italians. They came back from a crash. Love to see that effort. You're never out of it in sprinting if those crashes come early. And there's the prowess of the Norwegian men's team. Yep, thumbs up. They are a world championship gold medal winning duo. They've proven it here again in Davos. Let's have a look now. And I'm going to say it's Italy. The Italian team grabs that second podium position. I think they know by about a boot length. Ilia Barp and Federico Pellegrino take second over Johan Hagström and Edvin Auger. Even when you know it's coming, you know that surge from Klæbo will happen on that final climb. To answer that call is so difficult. Johannes proving once again he is the top of the stack in sprinting. Nobody able to match his tempo and his power. Switzerland, second last year in this team sprint, finds himself off the podium this year in fourth. We'll get some of the highlights from the men's race here now. It was the elder Neff for Switzerland. Noé Neff teamed up with Yannick Riebli that came in fourth. Finnish team of Lauri Vuorinen and Jonamäki finished fifth. There's the crash from Edvin Auger. I think he found that icy patch, probably the same one that got Ben Ogden and his broken pole in qualifying. Here's where the Italians went down. A little bit of a ski stepping, high traffic. There is what took out the Austrian team and Swedish team number 2. Full tangle on the inside corner, and at the base of that hill, such a tough place to go down. Carbon fiber shattered in splinters across the course. Beautiful look at some V2 technique from the best in the world now. I believe this is the final move. The last time up that climb. And in a matter of 4 or 5 revolutions, Klæbo gets the gap he needs to take the win. Wow, that was exciting. And we're just getting going on the weekend here in Davos on FIS TV and skiandsnowboard.live. If you haven't already, I highly recommend you download the FIS app to your phone. You can highlight your favorite athletes. They'll even put the start times of the races into your local time zone so you know exactly when the action's going to go down. First, a word from our winners.
Erik Valnes, you started the ball here for the Norwegian team. How was this?
It was tough. Team sprint in altitude with short breaks. It's really hard. So yeah, it was a hard day.
I think it was a record of crashes. I don't know if you got this.
I didn't see any of them, so it was smart to be in front.
Johannes, and you are usually never in a crash, but did you get any of this?
I just heard some noises, but I think it was smart to be in the front, and I think it's always fun to race here in Davos, and especially in the evening with the lights and everything. It's a great atmosphere.
And we'll see you on the start tomorrow as well.
That's the plan. So we'll go back and rest now.
Congratulations, boys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All the athletes commenting on the altitude here in Davos. I mentioned earlier, this is one of the higher placed venues. They'll race this winter. Just under 2,000 meters. If you're from the US, you could place it just below Soldier Hollow in Heber City, Utah, where the 2034 Olympics will be. So there's your final standings here in team sprint. Italy edging out Sweden. Second Norway team, despite qualifying in second, drops all the way to 7th. So good mix of nations on the podium here. Tough day for that second Swedish team, coming in last in the finals after that tough fall at the base of the climb. We're gonna get ready now for our podium ceremony. There is a look at the standings for the Team Cup in the women. Of course, Sweden so dominant in this era of ski racing. Comfortable lead already in the early going for the season. The races today do not count for World Cup points or individual FIS points, things that are needed to qualify for the Olympic Games or winning a Crystal Globe, but they are big bragging rights for the nation as well as points for that Nation Cup. See the drama painted on the faces of these athletes today, even if it's not for a Crystal Globe or Olympic qualifying. They want to win bad. Sundling and Dahlqvist did it for the women. Valnes and Klæbo did it for the men. There we see the award ceremony filing out those sleds atop. There's a big activity in the area. I only know this from watching social media of some of the US athletes in their free time will take a ride to the top of some of these mountains and ride back down on those type of sleds. After this weekend, there'll be a little break for the Christmas holiday as the athletes rest and recuperate for the Tour de Ski.
FIS Langlauf-Weltcup Davos Nordic 2025. Wir kommen zur Siegerehrung und zwar beim Teamsprint der Frauen in der freien Technik. Und hier präsentieren wir euch die schnellsten 3 Teams. Auf dem 3. Platz, Third Place, Kristin aus Gulen-Fossnes. Kristine Stavas Gistad, Norway 1. Auf dem 2. Platz, Second Place, Astrid Eures-Lind und Mathilde Mirwold, Norway 2. Und auf dem 1. Platz und damit Gewinnerinnen Davos Nordic 2025, Maja Dahlqvist und Jonna Sündling, Schweden 1.
Two Norwegian teams making the podium, both of them looking up at their Scandinavian rival Sweden at the top.
Verwaltungsratspräsident Davos Destinationsorganisation von Marcel Rogentin, Geschäftsleiter Korea Infra Services und Peter Engler, OK-Präsident. Und der Gewinnerpreis in Form eines Original Davoser Schlittens wird überreicht von Rinaldo Kreuzer, von Demak Lenko. Und selbstverständlich gibt es auch hier für die erfolgreichen Athletinnen auf dem Podium
Hopefully that sled can fit in their carry-on when they return to Sweden after the weekend.
Von Olivier Kreuzer, Direktor von Le Gruyère AOP.
There is your women's final podium. Dahlqvist and Sundling taking the win over Fossnes and Skistad, and Mirvold and Schlind. Rounding out the top 5 in 4th was Germany 1, Laura Gimler and Coletta Ritschek, and in 5th the second Swedish team of Emma Ribom and Lynn Svan.
Ich bin überzeugt, wir werden die eine oder andere morgen auch wieder auf dem Podium sehen. Morgen geht es ja bei den Einzelsprints.
Keep an eye on Dahlqvist and Sundling for tomorrow's freestyle sprint. It's going to be another evening, night race.
Teams der Herren präsentieren.
Look at that sled proving a little bit handy here in the early going for a prize carrier. Don't believe I saw any falls in the women's race. These athletes able to stay on their feet a little bit better than the men. As can often happen in a artificial snow course, that top layer of loose snow can get scraped off and expose the icy layer underneath. think that's what happened as the day wore on, and tonight I see a lot of hotels there bordering the venue. Athletes able to step right out of their hotel room and onto the course. They love Davos. Davos loves them. As we look at Norway with a huge advantage in the Team Cup for men. Already over 1,000 World Cup points ahead of their closest competitors. Stick around now. We got the men's Podium 2 award, wedges of cheese, and Swiss sleds. Federico Pellegrino with showing a little bit more flexibility than Edvin Unger, even though he's about a decade his senior. Pellegrino able to lunge past Edvin Unger for second place. For Johannes Klæbo, if you count all his wins, individual and team events, this will be his 110th World Cup win. He's got 101 individual wins and 60 in sprint. He'll be looking to make that 61 tomorrow. For Eric Valnes, it's his 36th World Cup podium. This will be Elia Barb's second World Cup podium, both of those in the team sprint. And for Federico Pellegrino, it'll be his 59th World Cup podium. For Johan Hagström, it will be his 8th World Cup podium.
Davos Nordic 2025. Nach den Damen präsentieren wir euch die schnellsten 3 Teams. Sprint, Herren der freien Technik. Wir beginnen beim 3. Platz. Johan Hagström und Edvin Unger, Sweden won!
For Edvin Unger, it'll be his 13th World Cup podium.
Auf dem 2. Platz, second place, Elia Barb und Federico Pellegrino, Italia!
Beautiful smiles from the Italian men there. Second place today.
Und die Sieger Davos Nordic 2025, Erik Valnes und Johannes Høsflot Klæbo, Norway won! Und selbstverständlich werden auch Sie ausgezeichnet mit den entsprechenden Preisen. Die Preise werden überreicht von Reto Branchi, Verwaltungsratspräsident Davos Destinationsorganisation, von Marcel Rogentin, Geschäftsleiter Korea Infraservices, und Peter Engler, dem OK-Präsidenten. Für alle Podiumsläufer gibt es einen Original.
The Swiss Ski Federation president handing out the awards here.
Die Originalausgabe, die ist den Gewinnern vorgehalten. Und auch hier gibt es für die Gewinner einen Original Davoser Schlitten, überreicht von Rinaldo Kreuzer, Demak Lenko, der Sponsor des Siegerschlittens. Und selbstverständlich gibt es auch ein richtiges Stück Schweizer Käse, Le Gruyère AOP, überreicht von Olivier Isler.
Each podium finisher getting a wedge of Le Gruyère cheese, often gifted to the behind-the-scenes heroes, the wax techs in the truck. making these skis as fast as they can be. Makes for a great after ski fondue party.
Morgen beim Einzelsprint sich ebenfalls wieder auf dem Podium präsentieren können. So, da sind sie ausgerüstet mit den Preisen, die Gratulationen, die durften sie entgegennehmen, bereit für den Applaus des Publikums. Johann Hackström und Edwin Anger auf Rang 3, Schweden 1. Auf dem zweiten Platz Elia Barb und Federico Pellegrino, Italia. Und die Sieger aus Norwegen, Erik Wallnes und Johannes Hösklot Krebo.
There you are, your men's team sprint podium. This is an exciting race. Glad you could be here with me. Andrew Kastning on the call for FIS TV and Ski and Snowboard.live. That's going to do it for now. The opening race of this 3-race weekend here in Davos. Looking forward to be back with you tomorrow for the freestyle sprint. Until then, we'll see you out on the trails, and you ski classy, Davos.
Spektakel zum Auftakt, und wenn die Italiener auf dem Podium sind, dann gibt es immer noch ein spezielles Spektakel. Viva Italia! Federico Pellegrino ja auf seiner Abschiedstournee, genauso wie Jessica Higgins. Die haben ja vermuten lassen, dass das ihre letzte Saison sind. Und Federico Pellegrino und Davos, das ist ja ganz eine besondere Verbindung. Und während dann noch hier wird, am Viertel vor 10 sind die jüngsten sind die kleinsten, wie gesagt, hier auf Bünden und drehen hier ihre Runden an. Und sie kriegen dann auch als Auszeichnung ein Original-Karte von Dario überreicht. Nachmittag und das Finale dann ebenfalls das Nachtfinale am Abend. Am 4. April geht es los und dort, wie gesagt, werden wir die schnellsten Sprinterinnen und Sprinter in den Einzelrennen führen. Und dann noch ein Blick auf das Programm vom Sonntag. Am Sonntag sind dann die Stanzenrennen auf dem Programm über 10 Kilometer in der freien Technik Einzelstart. Herren, die starten am Sonntag um 10 vor 10 Uhr morgen. Damen sind dann am Nachmittag um 4 vor 2 dran. Das ist also das Programm von der Großen Nordic 2025. Da hinten feiern sie weiter. Wir müssen dann vielleicht heute den früher abbrechen, die Festivitäten, weil am Morgen sind sie ja wieder im Einsatz. Danke vielmals, dass ihr da seid. Ich hoffe, wir sehen uns morgen wieder. Großen Nordic 2025. Einen schönen Abend. Macht's gut. Bis morgen.
Renzo, komm!